All right, everybody. Hello, how are you? Nice to see everybody today. I'm so excited. I'm Kenney of Bullseye Marketing. This is a subject I love talking about. I think this is a really important tool for everybody to use for their business. A little bit about me. I have been in marketing and corporate marketing for over 30 years. I started doing small business marketing probably about 17 years ago. This is my family, and this is really important for me to talk about. Our Christmas picture is on the left there. That's my nephew Quinn on the left, my mom, my brother-in-law, my dad, my niece, my sister-in-law, my brother, and me. This is my sister, Carol. It was taken 6 months before she passed away, and she was drinking a lemon drop with my dad at a charity function, and it was such a great moment. I add her in because we never forget about her. What's a Google business profile? And speaking of other family members, these are my fur nephews, Rockney and Louie. A Google business profile is what you've all seen when you're looking for something on the internet. This is a very typical view. You type in, I was looking for power washing. It gave me results that were close to me because that's what Google Business Profile will do. It'll find the businesses that are the closest to you mileage wise, even if that is not the one that you're looking for or the best one for you. It'll usually give it to you based on geography. So if I go to power washing near me, that's the most common term that people use is near me, businesses that are close by. So this is a typical view, is that it'll give you all the ones. This is interesting. It says Google guaranteed. That means that the business has gone and done some extra steps in order to have a backup from Google. And also, this is really important for service businesses. This is very unique to service businesses. It has this thing here, it says book. So if you have a calendar type of business, hairdressers, anything that has a calendar where they book, then that one, and you can book online, has a pay per booking fee. In other words, you most of the time, Google Business Profile is free, but if you have a business that is oriented to getting bookings online, then you pay for the booking, which is actually a really good deal because then you're not paying for any Google ads. You're only paying when you book a client online. That's pretty cool. So far, it's limited the categories, but I think it's possible to request it as more people do it. This is the mobile phone view. This is the majority of searches these days are done on mobile, and this is what it looks like. I use a Android phone, and I know it's very similar on an iPhone because I'm a Mac user. Otherwise, I end up doing a lot of stuff on other people's iPhones, fixing them. The results are mostly coming from Google, and then there's a couple of main companies that are underneath that. The Google Business Profile is really key because Google gives its own results the most. I call it Google juice. It gives it the most juice. This is our family business, All American Self-Storage. When you get a specific search result, you can see here that it's website, Yelp, Rent Cafe, which is like an aggregator. An aggregator just means that it's a listing, a big business listing, similar to Yellow Pages. Again, this is our website, Chamber of Commerce. And so this is the profile that comes up that anybody who's searching for you will see. Because I am the administrator of this page, I get a slightly different view than somebody who's just looking for it as a consumer. So why is this so important? This is such a good question. 97% of searches for local businesses use Google Business Profiles. In other words, when somebody is looking for a business, 97% are much more likely to click on a profile than they are on a listing. And again, because Google favors its own self, that's why it will use that. The gist of it is local search marketing is so key. And even though when you're doing coaching, which seems like it's broad, I can tell you for myself, sometimes I can't remember somebody's last name, but I might know where they live. And so I will type in like their first name and maybe I know their last name and where they live. And that really is how you can get found, especially when you meet somebody. I was at a meeting, a networking, connecting meeting yesterday, and there's a couple people there that I caught like half of their name, but I know maybe that they're in the area. So I'll be able to go and search for them. I have a couple other places I can search, but that is so important about why you need a listing, regardless of where you live and regardless of where people are searching for you. The thing is, I'm a big advocate of your ground game. Networking, really big advocate of networking. Colleen Biggs is on here. Her saying all the time is your net worth is your network. And I couldn't agree more because to be mentally healthy is when you're in service to others. And when you're in service to others, and that's not neglecting yourself, it helps you. You want to be a resource. Face-to-face marketing is the best way. And then people go look for you online. That's the truth. The majority of time, by the time they come to even decide that they want to do something, they've actually gone about 60% of the way into deciding. That's kind of shocking. 60% have already said, "Oh, I want to get X done," and then they're looking for the resource. So that's why you want to be on here. As I've said, Google favors its own product. You get your own visibility. It also lends credibility to you. The biggest one is reviews. That's the biggest thing that people look for because there's so much noise. It's so important to have your information on your Google Business profile because then the reviews help customers, potential customers go, hey, look, somebody else liked this person or somebody else had a great experience. 6 ways that it can boost your marketing. It's really cost effective. It's free. You don't, I mean, it's other than your time. You don't need anybody else to do it. You can do it yourself. Helps you get found. Direct customer engagement. This is the cool part I'm going to show you in a little bit. You can get messages, you can get appointments, direct engagement with your potential customers. It also gives you analytics. It lets you look at who's been coming to see you and who's been looking at your profile. And you can also make offers on there too. I know this sounds crazy to me. I always think it's funny that yes, there are scams out there and there are scam companies out there, but truthfully, having your presence on the internet, yeah, it's essential. You can't say you can't do it anymore. You can't not be there. Just not going to happen. And also, it's a great place to repurpose photos, blogs, videos. You can put them on there, and I'll show you in a minute how where you do that. Navigating to the Google dashboard. Once you create your profile, then when you just type in Google Business Profile, it'll take you to the business that you're working on. Here are all the different things that you can do on Google Profile. Edit your profile. You can read the reviews. Also good, when you get a review, good or bad, respond to it. Okay, so here's Little Orchard Self-Storage. This is our self-storage facility in San Jose. And I just want to show you the reviews because our manager there she is a review machine. And one of the things that she's so good at is writing like here. she writes responses to a lot of the reviews. So I just want to tell you, if you end up with a bad review or a marginal review or any review, you should respond to it. Say thank you. Photos. This lets you review the photos for that. So here's All American Self-Storage. And I'm just going to show you what it looks like when you're online. When you are managing your profile, there are a whole bunch of things that you can do. Business name, category, write the description. This is a good one. Service area. You notice that we have more than one place. Now, Highlands is an area of San Mateo. It's in unincorporated San Mateo. So that's one of the reasons in here. But you can put your service area. We have access, we have gate hours. These are our gate hours. I can add more hours to this because we have office hours and we have gate hours. And then we have all these other information that people are interested in finding out. I can go here to the photos. And I can add photos here too, which I think is really important. There's a lot of good information that you can add in here. We have videos, you can add photos, and you can add video and a description below it too. If I wanted a button, this is where you would add a booking link you can add in here. And so people can book directly with you using your booking link. You can have more than one button on your profile. See, it says here call, but if I wanted to add book, there would be another one. And yes, I can talk about how great Google Business Profile is, but I really love hands-on training, which is why I'm showing you guys all these things. This one here, manage your reviews. There's two things here that are really important. One is responding to the reviews. The other thing here is get more reviews. And this one does two things. See how it says review link? And then it also creates a QR code. And then you can share those things in email. I can send this to somebody, especially if you just finished with a client, or maybe you're in the middle of working with a client. This is great because you do a right click with this, but for us us Mac users, it's a control and the arrow. It's the control key plus the arrow, and you just say save image as. That's for Mac users. For all you PC users, you just right click and save image as, and that's a QR code that you can put anywhere. Or you can use a link. That's how you get more reviews. There's a whole bunch of things that you can go and do to edit your business, as I showed you before, business profile. Okay, so there's location, hours, more. And oh, and this is actually really helpful too. For instance, in our business, we have employees who speak Spanish and we have a lot of Spanish speaking customers. So that's a really helpful piece to know. And we also um, let people know how they can pay us too. This is the page that you would see for managing your business. So this is edit services, add another business category. So they're pre-populated. So if you have a bunch of different services that you are offering within their limits, you can add that. Then Q&A, you can add your link to your booking tool right there. So that's pretty cool. It's under booking. It's right here in this main page. And then add updates, add an offer, add an event. And when you add an update can be so many different things. This is the analytics part. That's 6 months, is 1,400 interactions. Let's see, calls. So we had 300 calls made from this profile. We can see when they have the phone, there's interaction, it shows how many phone calls were made directly. Because I've done it. Haven't you done it? Where you're looking at a profile and you just click to call. You don't know what phone number you're calling. It doesn't matter. But Google cares. Google shows you how many phone calls were made. So out of 1,500, that's about 20% or so. I think that's pretty good conversion rate. Were they all about being coming customers? I don't know, but it was definitely worth it to have it. There's no way I would not have us be on here. These are all the places, all the different options for you to use on your profile. And this page in particular is a description of every single one of those buttons. It just shows you what each of those different buttons are for. The design. You should have a cover image just because when people are looking at it in different screens, um, whether it's on your desktop or whether it's on your phone, that cover image will come up. I use Canva, and if you don't know how to use Canva, and find somebody who'll make one for you. Here are the dimensions. 2048 by 1152. So that's 2048 wide pixels, px, by 1152. This is just the details. This is a pretty big file, but you want to make it under 5 MB so that it'll upload. And make sure it's not pixelated or blurry and that it represents your business accurately. That's really important because Google cares about that. What's the number one thing to add to your business profile? When you're in marketing, people think that you've got it all together. And here's the truth. I don't. I don't have it all together. And the last couple of years have really taught me to not do it all myself. I brought in people to help me with my marketing. That's what I do for my clients. I help them take ideas to action for profitable outcomes. I hope that you would come on that journey with me. This is on my YouTube channel, but also it's on my Instagram and LinkedIn. Adding video to your profile, take any video that you're using that you created and put it on your profile. Great content. Great content. Okay, the secret of more reviews. This is my sneaky request. Get your phones out. Is this helping you? Are you learning anything valuable? Write me a review. I'd appreciate it. But that is the key to getting more reviews, is asking for reviews. Sounds so crazy. And women, I know, we're terrible sometimes about asking for help and asking for what we want and being direct. And this is a place that you can do that. It's okay. This is what it looks like when you're managing your profile from your phone. You're like, where do I go and do it? So the way you do it is that you go to Google Maps. And yes, you have to use Google Maps. And you go down here. You see down here in the corner, it says business. When you click on this, it'll show you this. It'll open up and give you all the different links to go manage the rest of your profile. That's a really important tip because we're on the go all the time. Like we're all in a deep relationship with our phone because it's not a phone. It's a giant computer that's in there. It used to take a two football sized rooms to do all the stuff. Those old computers can't even do what this phone does. What's in here is amazing. So on the fly, if you need to fix something, you can go in there and fix it. Why would you want to manage it on the go? Because you get real-time notifications for reviews and questions, post updates directly from your phone. That's really key. The last thing I'm going to talk about is I have an offer. I will do your profile for you. You have to be involved a little bit, but if you wanted to, I have a really great deal. It's $247, which is $250 off of my normal price for doing that. And we set up a meeting. What's included is the account creation, even if you have one started, we still need to do some verification, reclaim it. I'll help you create the cover design, image. I would love to help everybody do that. 247 for doing that. This is the QR code to go sign up for it. It's on my website also under services. You don't need the discount code. Thank you. Thanks so much for coming. I really appreciate it.
Bye
Okay,
bye.
bye.